President Buhari signs the most important bill for 2021 into law. President Buhari signs 2021 appropriation bill into law in State House on 31st December 2020. President Muhammad Buhari on Thursday in Abuja signed the 2021 appropriation bill of 13,588,027 into law. The president's action followed the earlier passing of the bill by the National Assembly on December 21st during an emergency session convened for the purpose of passing the budget. The signing of the budget is also in line with the president's promise to return the nation to the January-December budget cycle. The budget estimate was increased by the sum of 505 trillion, 607, 317 and 942 from the estimate of 13 trillion, 82, 420 and 568 presented to the joint sitting of National Assembly by President Buhari on October 8, 2020. The signed budget comprises total capital supplementation of 1 trillion 60 and 751 and 51. Statutory transfer stands at 496 trillion 528 471. Recurrent expenditure of 5 trillion 641 970 and gross domestic product GDP growth rate of 3%. It also provides 3 trillion 324 380 for debt servicing, while 5 trillion 641 970 is recurrent expenditure and 4 trillion 124 149 for capital expenditure. The president also signed the 2020 finance bill into law. Those who witnessed the signing of the budget include the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Senate President Ahmed Lawan, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila. Others are the council chamber, where the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, some cabinet ministers, as well as few top government officials. None. Thank you for listening to this news. Well, it's a good attempt and a very great move, and earlier done. It is said that when something is done earlier, then the work for the day will kick off earlier. Early to work, early to service. Okay, so it's a good one. But then, haven't signed all of these huge sum, it is expected for us to swap into action. But then we have to give all that has been signed a critical look. Then try to see how all that has just been signed to try to see how all that has just been signed will be properly utilized and properly used for what we ought or wish to use them for. You understand? Okay, so at this time around, I will advise that if anything must move out of the government purse, that thing must have a monitoring team. What happened between the federal government and the NDDC must not repeat itself again. Because I won't lie to you, I as a broadcaster, I wasn't happy. I'm telling you the truth. How can we allocate 40 billion to Niger Delta and the managers and CEO of Niger Delta have to split it themselves? And they didn't do what they asked them to use the money to do. Not even one project was achieved. Do you understand now? So it is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. So let there be a proper monitoring team or proper monitoring of anything that must leave the government's the government's purse, and let there be proper taking record of accounts. Whosoever that is in charge of taking note of the spendings should take a proper recording or proper recording of figures. If anything is removed for a particular expenses, that should be taken note of. That should be taken note of. And any money allocated for any purpose, that money should be used for that purpose. That is why I said there should be a monitoring team to help monitor any money allocated to any sector or any department, because that is where we started getting this problem of economic meltdown. Yes, money allocated to a particular sector, that money is expected to yield something in return. It's expected to yield something in return, but the reverse is the case. How can we invest money on something and at the end of the day we don't get anything from what we invested the money for? Nigerian, for the matter. I believe so much on what was invested on agriculture. Definitely there was a growth, but along the line we started having some flops because of what? Because of the high the increase in insecurity, because of the insecurity problem. You understand? So it's not all about signing all of this. Signing it is fine. The next thing is allocation and proper monitoring and utilization of whatever that must be released or allocated to any sector. That should be properly monitored and that should be properly followed. Or else there will be too many questions to answer. So, my viewers, once more, I would like to appreciate you for the many times that you have been subscribing, spending time to listen to my news, my broadcast. I'm grateful. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I promise I will keep sensitizing you with lots of good news that will enlighten you and your friends. Thank you.